All right, welcome to Talkin' Investing. I'm Tom, and as always, this is not financial advice. Today, I want to do our Bitcoin miner update weekend edition. I've gone through all of my charts. I've replaced one of my old charts. I have a new chart, so we'll take a look at that. If you're new to the channel, please remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Also, if everybody could please smash the like button, it helps the channel out a lot. Lastly, you can join and become a member of the channel by hitting the join button on the YouTube page right next to the subscribe button. So members get some members-only content. In addition to that, we do a members-only live stream once a week, and the members also get to pick a company for me to do a deep dive on each week. So we'd love to have you there. Let's talk about Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners. I want to start out with the Bitcoin miner big board. So this is where everything closed on Friday. I just want to take a look at this before we look at my charts because Friday was a very, very strange day. So you're going to see it's like half of this board is red and half is green. So there were a lot of very different reactions to Bitcoin, which was basically completely sideways on Friday. So while Bitcoin did really not move an inch, all the Bitcoin miners had a reaction, and half of them to the upside and half of them to the downside. So just to hit a few of the highlights, HUT 8 was down 7.4%, Riot was down 4%, Marathon was down 7%. So those were some of the bigger companies that were down. But on the other side, Core Scientific was up almost 6%. Actually, Argo Blockchain did not trade on Friday. So I just want to make a note right here. You'll see that number on the big board. Those are Thursday's number. Argo Blockchain trading was halted before it even started on Friday, and it was halted all day. So we are in the dark as to what's going on with Argo Blockchain. They have not put out any news other than to say that trading was halted and it never started. So we'll see what happens on Monday with that one. A couple of big moves that I really wanted to point out. Any was up 14% and TeraWolf was up 17.48%. We're going to take a closer look at TeraWolf later because that one behaved very strangely this week. Okay, first I want to look at the week over week chart. So this is where everybody closed on Friday. That's the big board that we just looked at compared to where everybody was a week ago Friday. So that's December 9th versus December 2nd. So you're going to see right away one thing jumps out at you. Wolf is up 36% this week. So almost every single Bitcoin miner is in the red this week. Some of them are deep into the red. The only other Bitcoin miner that was even green above zero was Any, and that was up 3%. Bitcoin was flat on the week. It says zero, but if we go out a decimal point, it was actually up 0.4%. So you can see everything else underperformed that. And Wolf was up 36%. Wolf did put out their operational monthly report on Monday, but they put that out before the market opened on Monday, and there really was no price action at all on Monday. It was the rest of the week that this was some kind of wild ride up. And I really don't have any explanation. There was some high volume, but there was no additional news. So you're going to see this is going to affect a lot of the charts that we go look at after this. This was a gigantic outlying week for TeraWolf. On a week where the other side of the spectrum, Marathon was down 31%. So, that's a 67% difference in performance in just 1 week between TeraWolf and Marathon. So Marathon finally did have a bad week. It finally took out its lows from this summer. So that means that every single Bitcoin miner has now taken out the lows that they hit back in June when Bitcoin flash crashed down to 17,500. So for that reason, I am going to have a new chart today because we do have all new lows. We've been looking at the June lows, but those really are not relevant anymore because every single company has taken out their June low. So you see a lot of other companies did have a not very good week. Stronghold was down 21%. HUT was down 21%. Now Marathon and HUT were two of the best performing stocks for the last 5 months. So they kind of played a little catch up this week and went to the downside. BitDigital down 21%, Cypher down 20%, Riot was down 17%. So, this was not a good week. I'll let you guys look at the rest of the list, but it's all red. Okay, so I'm bringing this chart back. I didn't do this one last week, but now I think it's appropriate. This is from the high in August to where they closed on Friday, December 9th. So you're going to see in gold is Bitcoin down 32%. So that's the best performer on the list. So every single Bitcoin miner performed worse than Bitcoin did, which is what we expect. These are leveraged plays on Bitcoin, so that makes sense. Most of these were about a 2x. Some of these were a 3x leverage to the downside. So the first one I want to point out is you're going to see all of a sudden TeraWolf is in first place out of all the Bitcoin miners. It is down 40% off of its December highs, but we just saw TeraWolf moved 36% to the upside this week in a week where every single other Bitcoin miner was red. So they were way back in the middle of the pack or even at the low end of the pack prior to this week. So this was a dramatic move for them. They've now broken out. They're by far in first place when measuring from the summer highs. So they're down 40%. They're almost on par with Bitcoin. And then there's a big jump to 59% with DMG. Riot is down 60%. And we go all the way down to, you'll see now Marathon has kind of caught up with the rest of the group. So HUT's down 73, Marathon's down 75. Bitfarms is down 79%, Iris 80, and then we have a few companies that have just had an absolute disaster. Stronghold's down 87%, GREE is down 90%, Argo is down 90%, and Core Scientific is down 96%. And remember, this is from their August highs when Bitcoin hit 25,000. So this is not from their 52-week highs. They're all down much more than that. We'll take a quick look at that later. A lot of these stocks hit their 52-week low and took out their summer low this week. A few of them had already taken out their lows, and you'll see some of them are starting to rebound. So the first thing, obviously, that jumps right out at you is Wolf. Wolf is up 83% from its recent lows, and we saw this week Wolf was a gigantic outlier, up 36%. So I told you that was going to affect all the rest of the charts. So Wolf is running away in first place over the course of the last few weeks or a month. So now that we've pressed the reset button, I think we have new lows that have set in essentially last week. So that's going to be the December 2022 lows. Now, obviously, if Bitcoin takes a turn to the downside, then we'll have to redo this chart. But I think everything just bounced off of their lows, and I think we're going to see some recovery from here. We'll see what happens. So most of these are very, very close to their low. You'll see Marathon's at 0%. So it just took out its low on Friday. HUT's at 1%, Stronghold's at 2%. So most of these are within 10% of their lows that they hit really over the last 30 days. Bitcoin, you'll see, is up 11%. Bitcoin flash crashed down to around 15,500. That took out the summer lows when Bitcoin had flash crashed down to around 17,500. So since it hit 15,500, it's now up. It closed on Friday at around 17,100. So that's what Bitcoin was when the equity markets closed on Friday. So that was up 11%. So you see there are a few Bitcoin miners that are performing better than that over the last few weeks. And then TeraWulf, of course, is all by itself up 83%. So that has run up to a new number. And again, anybody drop a comment below if you know what's going on with TeraWulf. And I really don't think that it's Monday's press release because that came out before the market opened and the price action on this did not start until the following day. So also, I'm a little bit worried about Wolf, so I have a different opinion on that. I did a separate video on that. You guys can check that out and see my Wolf video. Okay, so this is the new chart. We'll be checking in on this weekly. Hopefully, these will be in the green from now on instead of the red, which we've been looking at for the last 5 months. Lastly, we'll just take a quick look at market cap. So the market cap now for all of these stocks put together, and these are 18 stocks. So we've been following the same 18 Bitcoin miners now for, quite some time. They're down to about $2.5 billion in total. And you'll see there's two that are just running away from the pack. Riot is now in first place. Marathon was in first place from a market cap standpoint for most of the last 5 months. Riot overtook them last week, and now they're putting some distance. Riot is now at $701 million market cap. Marathon is all the way down to $584 million market cap. And then from there, we drop all the way down to $197 million with HUT. Cypher at $193. But the one I really want to point out is TeraWulf. You're going to see TeraWulf's at $155 million market cap. That is bigger than CleanSpark. That is bigger than Bitfarms. To me, that's very shocking. So that's why I'm saying take a look at TeraWulf. You might want to take a look at my TeraWulf video. Something is going on here for them to have passed Bitfarms and CleanSpark, which have much, much higher production numbers, and they're much more mature companies. So I'm not sure what's going on with TeraWulf. We'll have to definitely take another look at that. I'll probably do another video on that one this coming week. But some of these are starting to get very low. I mean, Bitfarms, if it goes down anymore, it's going to get under $100 million market cap. This was a $1.5 billion market cap company just a year ago. By the way, Marathon, which is now at $584,000, that was a $7.5 billion company last November. So you can see what drastic moves these have made. And now we have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these that are $25 million or less. So, these are starting to become insignificant micro cap stocks. And that's DMG, Mawson, GREE, Any, DigiHost, and Stronghold. Stronghold's now at $14 million. DigiHost is at $15 million. So, Core Scientific, which was at $4 billion, is now at $51 million. Now, we all know that had a separate situation, and I expect they will be filing for bankruptcy shortly. They defaulted on all their loans. So you can see this is still in a very rough shape. So I'm hoping that these numbers go up over the next couple of weeks. Next week, we have some big data coming out. We have the CPI data coming out on Tuesday. So obviously that is a gigantic piece of data. And then on Wednesday, the Fed, so at 2 o'clock on Wednesday, we're going to get the Fed notes, and Chairman Powell will speak, and he will tell us what the rate increase was. So obviously the debate is between 50 basis points and 75 basis points. So, just a heads up to everybody, the market has priced in 50 basis point move. So I think that he's going to raise the rates by 50 basis points. If we get a 75 basis point move, I would expect the stock market to tank, and unfortunately, probably all of these Bitcoin miner companies and Bitcoin to go down with it, at least in the short term over the next few days or weeks. All right, so that's my update for all the Bitcoin miners for this weekend. I hope everybody's having a great weekend. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you in tomorrow's video.